everyone. We're finally here. And just wanted to say thank you for coming today. I have a special guest here with me today. Vienna Dunham is here. She is a very special person, so educated in frequencies, plus massage, plus, energy. I don't even know how to say everything that she does and all the education that she's gotten lately. And she has helped with the biomeridian that I work with that I've mentioned, and especially the WAVwatch, which is what we're talking about today. So we're going to be covering some things that we've already talked about before. This week was a big week. I've sold lots of watches this week, so I thought maybe I'd have some new people. And so we're kind of covering why the WAVwatch is the wave of the future and why frequencies are the wave of the future. And of course, you spell that wave, W-A-V, for waves and vibrations. And that's the acronym that is used when they make music. Those are wave files. So that works pretty good to let us know that we are on the right track with providing waves and vibrations, or music is a different way to say it, when we work with the WAVwatch. So we're going to go ahead and start our slide presentation a little bit. And, Vienna's a close enough friend that I could just call her last night and say, hey, you want to be on? Because it's a crazy week. We've got 3 or 4 people in my back office packing WAVwatches. And I knew Vienna, but Vienna's helping me with that too. And so she's here and I'm going, hey, I finally get to see you face to face again. So you want to be on the Zoom call and add some things as we go through all about the WAVwatch. So anyway, we can use the same idea that we have before, and we'll kind of do some talking and show you some slides. And then at the end, we'll open that up and everybody can make comments or ask questions or whatever is needed. So here's my screen share again. Hope that works. All right. It didn't go. I just love it. Where did that go? And then where are we? We're never there. There we are. Okay. So just a little bit about me there. I think most of you probably know that we have over 850 acoustical frequency sets. And I say a set because each frequency has more than one wave file in it. Sometimes there are up to 30. Now, the exception would be the emotional frequencies or the chakras. They just have one frequency. And so when you try to actually hear them, they're not very loud at all. But remember, the whole essence of the WAVwatch is that you are absorbing frequencies through your wrist. You don't have to hear it. It doesn't have to blow you away, because some of the frequencies are a little bit irritating, aren't they, Vienna?
Yep.
Have you noticed any in particular?
There's just a few that are really high pitched, and my mother has to keep hers turned down to about 3 because her grandcat gets irritated.
Oh, okay. All right. That's a great way to say it. And sometimes the cats love it and animals love it. As a whole, we've seen that time and time again. And I have several people have sent the information, we're absorbing the frequencies. So I thought that was really fun. So obviously there's just 3 steps, very simplistic for us to explain it to you. And then when you wear the watch, you're going to be absorbing those resonant frequencies. And that means that those frequencies have been measured. They are the same frequency as, quote unquote, the problem that is listed in the book. Now, some of those do look like medical diagnosis. They are not really. We're just using that wording so that you can identify a little bit better which frequency to select for your own self-care. So the idea would be just like it says on the screen. You're going to turn your disharmony into harmony with the WAVwatch, and more on that.
One of my very favorite aspects of this is that it does go through the body, through the wrist, and I've seen all kinds of numbers about what percentage of our body is water, from 60 to 99 or whatever, some number up there above 50 is water in our body. And I tell people, think about where do you most hear a whale song? When they're up above the, we can hear it for, pick a number, a mile up, but when they're above the water, but below the water, it's much, much further. So it's traveling at the speed of sound through your body.
So that's one of the things I love about Vienna is she has this perfect phrasing. I mean, I've never thought of saying you can hear a whale through water. And but I say things move through water faster. So that's why it's so great to have somebody on to give some more illustrations once in a while. So you don't have to listen to me all the time. So this is another idea again on how the WAVwatch works. And, it's sending out frequencies that are made specifically. Now, don't forget these frequencies were measured over 100 years ago, maybe even longer by Rife. Royal Raymond Rife, and they say Tesla had measured a lot of frequencies also. So you're just wearing the watch, absorbing it, and those 850 frequencies have to be used, one frequency set at a time, but you can rotate through a whole list of them the way you set the watch.
Hulda Clark was another one who was ahead of her time, and she focused on parasites with her little frequency device.
And was she in the 70s?
That sounds right to me. And she called hers the zapper.
And, so we've had these frequencies forever, but most of you on here know what we're talking about when we say that things have been hidden from us. And one of the things that I've talked about before, is how much they've been hidden from us, that we could have been using sounds a long time ago with so many of these inventions, because we used them from ancient history. We knew to hum and to chant and to pray and Tibetan bowls.
Yes, exactly. Sound bowls. Yeah, they're resurging now with popularity, and they're ancient.
Yes. So that's where the idea is coming from. So the wave of the future, I think, is maybe the WAVwatch, or, those ideas. And this is because I keep flipping here. There's hundreds of sound frequencies. There's no chords. Now, once in a while, somebody wants to plug an ear thing into the WAVwatch. It's not necessary. You don't have to do that. I wouldn't suggest it. I don't provide those earplugs for you because that's a whole idea. We are already so bombarded with all of these sounds in our lives. It isn't connected to the internet. It's huge.
I love that. You can be camping and use it.
Oh, great way to say it, And again, I have so many stories about people who are actually wearing products that are connected to the internet, and they're not natural to the body, and they can change the body. So we really have to think about that. I mean, you wouldn't go stand underneath a 5G tower, but somehow it's okay to wear the 5G tower on a wrist. Is that a way to say it? We have, huge amounts of energy running through when we have some different tools on. There's no monthly fee. It's inclusive. Even somebody like me who's hard of hearing can wear the WAVwatch and get results from it. And don't forget, I've told this story before, but you normally want to turn it down to 4. And Vienna is my favorite person that told me, because I went to the bank and I had my WAVwatch set on 12 and I couldn't hear it. Yet the bank tellers could hear it, and it scared them to death.
Freaking them out, you said. What's that? Lockdown.
When I get back to the office and Vienna's here, and she's going, well, Linda, most people, would turn it down to 4. On my own prototype, Vienna helped me. So, and to me, it's very cost effective. So that's why we're using frequencies.
And I want to expand that cost-effective idea. There's the cost. So people, I get occasional headaches, so I don't have to run out and buy stock in ibuprofen or something like that. But I'm so grateful to not have to buy that at all anymore, because it's cost-effective in terms of saving money on what the over-the-counter remedies I used to buy. And it's also, there's that, what would you call it? Opportunity cost or something of the people that I know that didn't know about this technology yet have been taking things, NSAIDs or something, that really ate up their digestive system. And so that's a different kind of cost. So it's cost effective that way too.
Yes. And someone did make a comment when I did a workshop on Bach remedies, that they had been taking Bach remedies in the little bottles for years. And now they might not have to replenish those bottles that the frequencies are on the WAVwatch. So all kinds of ways to think about how it can save you money. And don't forget, you can be wearing it, while you're driving, while you're sleeping, while you're sitting at home. Please just don't wear it when you're playing soccer, think it through. Okay. It's not waterproof. You can get an extra warranty for water damage and breakage. So you might want to look at that. And the wristband can be changed with Fitbit styles. We've already mentioned, put the sound on for 4 or less. Now, once in a while, these will lock up. They are very extravagant use of technology, because an engineer told me that they do like 1 million steps a second to make a sound for us. I don't know if he was exaggerating, but that's what I, clued into. And so once in a while, they're going to kind of, jump or, have a little misstep or something. So there is a reset button between the volume buttons. And all you do is take a paper clip and you hold that reset button, or you poke it in the hole for about 6 seconds until it comes back on. And sometimes you might need to let it set for 10 minutes and try it again and maybe tap that little reset button. Yeah. But 99% of the time that does reset it. So,
and you can actually feel a little tiny click. So if you have it on your left, whoa, where's the camera? If you have it on the left hand, then it's going to be on the inside, but I would take it off to do that. Then when you touch the paper clip in, you actually feel a little click.
You're not perfect.
And you've done it.
Yes. And don't forget, we provide you with a charging cord, or if you lose it, or you think that one, once in a while, somebody will pull theirs out at a phrase. I mean, we just have cords that aren't perfect, and you can replace it with a micro USB cord. So that makes it really pretty effective. Now, one of the main things that I want to expand on, and I know Vienna can jump in on this too, but I was able to put frequencies for COVID-19 on before COVID-19 was a thing. I didn't label it, but I had those frequencies. So these are 8 minutes, and they are frequencies for DNA repair and also vaccination detoxification. And I'm saying that truth straight out as it is. Used to, I would circumvent around it, and I'd say, for these things on your shoulder. But I'm just kind of getting tired of that. I'm stepping up. What do you think?
Let's just speak the truth.
There we go. So this is a combo. To me, that's the biggest one. And when it's labeled combo, it means that it's going to play several ideas through so that you don't have to touch it. And then it would play through the combo plus play through all 33 ideas in the virus folder completely. So if you go to the virus folder, then that's a very good way to protect yourself for a lot of things. And then another way that I stepped up, I did label something viral immune support. And basically that is the frequencies for vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and iodine.
I love that. And I just have to say something about the vitamin C thing. I've taken chewable vitamin C's and powder vitamin C's and things for decades. My mom used them. And so I always thought, acerola berries have something that stimulates the body. And rose hips have something that stimulates the immune system of the body. Yes, and that thing is a frequency. So my guess is that acerola berries and rose hips have a similar frequency, and that when you take it in through your mouth, the frequency can stimulate the immune system, and you can wear it on your wrist. So that just blew my mind to think that supplements, things that we would normally only associate with putting in through our mouth, can be given to the body another way.
Yes.
Love it.
Now, I'm not saying that you should not take vitamin C. We're just saying, hey, you may not have access to that all the time. And look, you've got some protection just right on the WAVwatch for that. Mm-hmm. And for a while, I kind of hit it. I just put viral immune support. I'm not sure why I didn't step up more, but like I said, I'm stepping up. But, they said bad things about vitamin D when we were working with it for our health and for viruses. They said, no, stay inside. Why would you want to be outside and get vitamin D? Why would you take vitamin D? So I didn't want to mess up any, connections that I had with the WAVwatch. So I labeled it viral immune support. And I'm telling you right out now, it is vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and iodine. So I think that's the idea.
It's beautiful.
Okay. So these are resonance vibrations, and all of these frequencies will cause the energy of the virus particle to fatally self-amplify. So that's a good word. So when we talk about a resonant frequency, which is what we're talking about with any of the virus ideas, basically we have copied, somebody has measured 100 years ago, and then new measurements are taken all the time. So we know the frequency of a virus, so that virus, and then we match that frequency. And when you're wearing the WAVwatch, it goes into your body, and those two frequencies meet, and then they just self-amplify and seem to destruct or inactivate.
Yes. I have two ideas on that I think are such good visual helpers. And one is to hop on YouTube and look at a crystal goblet resonating and self-destructing, right? It's very, very similar principle. And to watch it in slow motion is over the top fascinating. You can just see it start to go, whoa, where's the can? Wow, 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 wow. It just tickles my little kid science brain. And the other one I love is a guy that did a TED talk about destroying cancer with frequency. And what was interesting with that one is he made it talk like they had to hunt for weeks and weeks and try hundreds of frequencies to find the thing. And I'm going, yeah, Linda's got 8 books about that. Yeah, how hard could that have been?
So I was a little confused about that one too. It's like, it's not that you came up with this. It's been around for years and years. So there are some of the cutest videos of kids breaking goblets, and that's exactly what it is. Now, Tesla called it the mortal oscillation rate. That was his phrasing. So they could measure the resonant frequency at which something would explode or self-destruct. And that's called the MOR, the mortal oscillation rate.
Very nice.
So all of these ideas on the WAVwatch, energy, frequency, vibrations, they're safer. Doesn't that make sense? A lot safer than drugs. They're sustainable. So they can measure new frequencies as needed. You know, it's not a big thing to figure out a new frequency with a new measurement.
And you've added and are talking about adding some more.
Yes.
So
that's where we are with energy and waves being able to take really good care of you. It can simplify healthcare models. Let's put it that way. It can. And look at that bottom one. It can reduce response time to pandemics. It's because we could get some different measurements. We could get those out to you in different manners and a whole different game. Through frequencies.
Not have to wait for something that would cause side effects anyway.
There you go. That's a way to say it. Okay, let's see if we're going. So even on advantages of the WAVwatch for companies, it helps to minimize the loss of work days, cut down on insurance costs, encourages self-care. Don't you pay a little bit more attention to something when you're going, I wonder if it covers this. I wonder if it does that,
Exactly.
Reduces the need for pain meds on the job. So many people have said that they have really been blessed with less pain.
And there are side effects for a lot of people just in terms of mental alertness. And there are certain jobs that mental alertness remains highly important.
Definitely.
Anything with driving, let's say heavy equipment.
So we're talking about pain from, different things, but also stress, so people are not going to be as alert and working as good as they should correctly. So you could be at work sitting in front of your desk wearing something for stress, or maybe even something for EMFs because you are at a desk with all kinds of frequencies being bombarded all day long. And both of those would help. So it's a good little product that way. Now, I kind of mentioned that, people are measuring frequencies, and this is a young physicist who developed wave files for COVID-19. And at the same time, he measured the frequencies of the prescription drugs that they were using.
Yes.
And just like Vienna alluded to earlier, that way we could know, just like with the vitamin C, it has to have the same frequency as what we have on the watch, or they have prescriptions and frequencies that way. And basically, I don't think I have it in here, but sorry, I'm jumping around here. I did not do that, I promise. Anyway, these frequencies, they do know that a frequency from a wave file goes through your body at really 4.3 times the speed of sound. And so it's 100% absorbed. but the frequencies from just a common vitamin C that we take, or even a prescription for something, they go through our body at 1 foot a second.
Oh, what a difference.
Yes. And so what that means is that the body burns up 98% of this. So have you ever heard someone say, oh yeah, my prescription says I've got to take it for 2 or 3 months before it becomes active?
Yes.
That's because only 2% of it can be absorbed. Same way with natural supplements.
Right.
They are absorbed slower. It takes a longer time, sometimes, not all of it.
And it has to go through the digestion
Exactly.
before it can be absorbed. And if it's impacted by stomach acid, oops.
Yes. So I think that makes perfect sense. Not everybody is believing that or thinking that way, but this came from Dr. Bruce Lipton. Anybody know Dr. Bruce Lipton?
Very familiar.
So he's a physicist with lots of information about energy. So also, I don't know how we're doing time today, but it's so great to have Vienna here. I just wanted to show a few things that you can use that are on the market today, and just kind of show you some ideas so that you can compare them, or figure out, or other people talk to them, and whatever information. I think it just might be helpful. So have you used these, Vienna?
I never have.
These are discs, and they come on a sheet, and they're $79 for 3 days of discs.
Is that meant for pain?
Some of them are for pain. Some of them could be for some other natural stress relief and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So they do have some different types of stickers that are called bioenergy discs. So these you would have to replenish all the time, right?
Right.
And then this is kind of how you would wear them, different places on your body, evidently. So that's one idea. And then there are amino neuron frequency patches. And I'm not saying I know enough about these, but you might see them if you were working for these. And so these are a little bit different. The cost is $5 for a disc. I'm kind of seeing that at the bottom of my writing. And there's 5 to 20 discs per treatment, plus the doctor fees.
Well, there's that.
Yes.
You're charging for this consultation today, are you?
I don't think so. And so the same thing, the WAVwatch is empowering you for self-care.
Yes.
So I think that's useful also. And I know I'm sharing a lot of ideas with you on self-care, but that's what we need to do. We need to be taking better care of ourselves. We might need to put a little bit more effort out sometime and forget about that. Oh, I want that one pill to work. I just have to take one pill one time. I think most of you know that, and you're already there. That's why you're on this particular program. But we're heading there, and all of us need to get there, pay more attention to that.
Yes.
So have you seen these?
I remember when you told me about it. I've never actually seen one.
I had worn one, but as I wanted to make sure that my product was, definitely covering all the bases, I have frequencies for mosquito repellent on the WAVwatch.
I have used it.
There you go. Did you notice anything?
I did. I did. I was not being bitten, and some other people in the vicinity were.
All right. Great. So they do have little, kind of a wrist product that you wear, and it only has 4 or 5 frequencies for mosquitoes on it. So these are in the $10 to $40, on Wish is where I found them originally. But, my idea was, let's cover as many things as possible on the WAVwatch. Why would we want to have 10 or 15 different gadgets?
Right.
We want to have a be all, something kind of wrapped up.
I've only got 2 wrists. I've got my WAVwatch and my Fitbit. That's all I can handle.
Yep. So, and then they have another product called a Huso. I'm not sure what the abbreviation is for, but they are wrist and ankle bands. And then you also have a controller of some kind, and it looks like you wear headphones. And so these only have 5 programs for sleep and calmness, and then 5 programs for mental clarity. So that's all you're gaining a benefit for, is those. They may work perfect, and they're $497. Okay.
Number sounds familiar.
Yes. So that looks to me like there's 10 different ideas on there, where the WAVwatch have 850.
And even if they've quadrupled the number, it's still not 850.
There you go.
Just saying.
That's a different way to say it. Perfect. All right. Then here's another one that I found also. And this is a device that you can wear on your arm or your leg, But remember that the WAVwatch, I like you to wear it on your left wrist because we have been told for thousands of years, cultures figured out that we actually absorbed energy on our left wrist.
Mhm.
And then we share it with people through our right hand. I just thought that was amazing. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Until-
Maybe that's why we shake with our right hand.
That's right. And that's what people said. Don't you know that? It's like, no. So that was a little tidbit I learned as I was developing the watch, and it just happened this way. So yes, you could wear the WAVwatch on your ankle if you wanted. Now I'm kind of klutzy. I can't imagine wearing it on my ankle and going through the doorway or something. I think
I've done it at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when I'm the klutziest. So that's when I would break it. So
Got it.
anyway, everybody to their own. So you're just going to be careful, but it does, I think it probably works a little bit better on your wrist. Not saying that it wouldn't work because every cell does absorb energy and frequencies. Now, this one is just specific for Lyme's disease.
Check out the price.
Okay.
Woo.
Whoa. So we're talking about $2,500 for Lyme disease. Now, it does have some light frequencies, I believe, here. No, I'm not sure that I see this now. But the WAVwatch has frequencies for Lyme disease plus
Co-infections. And I will tell a little story here. My parents and some siblings have had Lyme disease. And you know what? I may have had at some point. And every time I'm out hiking in the woods, I make sure I have my WAVwatch. I'm being proactive, doing preventive measures about Lyme disease. And my parents both had, and they found out through your biomeridian scan how many co-infections they had. And I believe Dad had about 10 co-infections and Mom a similar. So the harsh antibiotic, which until they found out about frequencies, may well have saved their lives, not dog. And it had side effects and it killed all their gut bacteria and, so on and so forth, things that are a little hard to come back from. And so then they found out about frequencies and started using that. And they both, Mom still at 84 mows the yard.
Oh, wow.
So she's doing good. Dad passed a few years ago, but it wasn't from Lyme disease.
Okay. Wow. And we just have to think about where we would wear that because just like we worry about viruses in a crowd anymore, I worry about Lyme disease in a crowd, or when I get on an airplane, it is passed. They are not telling us how easy Lyme disease is passed.
Wow.
So when I'm flying, I have a choice now. Sometimes I'll wear it on viruses and sometimes I'll wear it on Lyme disease.
It's a long flight, you can rotate.
Yes,
Yeah.
or when I get off, I'm going to cover the other one.
Yeah.
And so I hope you're learning that too, that you don't have to be carrying around something. You already have it, know. So it's very important that we do know about Lyme disease. And then here's another one. Sure. This is stress tracking. I'm not sure that, do you need tracked, Deanna?
No, thanks. I'll keep track of myself. Thank you.
I mean, it just says front and center. It's tracking. I'm not sure how. I'm just having fun with the idea, but we are tracked anyway. And so here's another product. It looks like it launched. I'm sure the launch price still isn't available, but it's around $129 and it's just for stress tracking and mental health monitoring, and we have all of those frequencies to help with that on the WAVwatch.
Yes.
So there you go. We're trying to keep track and cut down on the amount of tools that might come up. So here's another one. And I kind of, I really had an interesting, it just click, click, click. It's like, wow, here's a motion sickness relief band for $199.
Ooh, if you had no other options, that'd be awesome. And you have other options.
So do you think I have motion sickness on the, sure, and nausea and all kinds of stomach pain. So it covers all of that. And my own grandson was having some trouble with some motion sickness when he, was riding in the back seat with his parents. And so that's something that he learned to do.
That's perfect.
So, $199 for one idea. Again, we are trying to cover the bases.
And to your point, your grandchild was able to learn to use it. Kids are so techie.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, by all means, that wouldn't be a challenge at all for a child to know, find the folder and turn it on. In fact, if you have any questions, ask a child.
I love that. This one, I don't seem to have a picture of it. for some reason, but there was another product called an Apollo. So if you wanted to check that out, I was just trying to see, Apollo Neuro, just to provide some ideas for you. But evidently, I'm not sure if I destroyed one of my slides at some point in time. I didn't see the image here. So, but this one is interesting. How would you like to wear that around, Vienna? Have you seen it before?
It looks like just the kind of thing I could rip off while trying to get to the bathroom. Oops. Oh, it's in the toilet. Oops. Is this waterproof?
This is just for cramps.
Oh, my
Isn't
goodness.
that interesting? But it is frequencies. So more and more places are acknowledging that frequencies work. We
Yes.
should not hesitate at all to share the idea about frequencies with anybody now, because we can refer to any of these.
Yeah.
But I know most of you want to refer them to the one that's the best, or the one that has more ideas, bang for the buck, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So I think that would be kind of hard to wear. You've already summed it up correctly. And look how many pieces of it. And that is only for basically maybe one or two ideas with free.
Can't see what the price is under a little picture.
See,
There we go. $149.
$149
One idea. Okay.
Mhm. And so that's kind of interesting, because we have frequencies for hormones, we have frequencies for all kinds of menstrual cramps.
Yeah. And I noticed on this one, it says it blocks the cramps or the pain signals. And that's fascinating. And if you can do hormones and get to the root of it, solve the problem.
Right.
There we go.
Then this is a different product again. These are called touch points, and they are completely different products for sleep or calm. So you have to have one set for sleep and one set for calm. Okay. And then you have to wear two. I think this one is the one where it's a pair of wearables. So you have to wear one on each wrist. Okay. And you have to order for what you want. So again, just letting you know that there are more and more ideas that could be helpful for some of your healthcare situations.
I'm with my screen.
All right. There is also something called a 90-10 med bed. Now, I have been fascinated by this one. I don't know that most of you have heard about this, but I have talked about it. So it's a virtual med bed that you download over your bed, and you do get 3 downloads for 3 different beds, or, a couch and a love seat in the bed, or whatever combination. And you can only use them at one house or one place of business at a time. And basically, you're taking a picture of those couches or, beds, and sending them, to a site, and then they download frequencies like a canopy, an invisible canopy over your bed. Now, I think that is high tech and med of the future. Definitely medicine of the future. Now, my husband really seemed to react to that. I did buy one of those. I was so enthusiastic about it. And if you ever like to try it, you have to be in Kansas City in my office, but you're welcome to try that. And so if I travel, I can actually take a picture of the new bed and kind of re-upload that and use it at different places.
Nice. And I've done it once, and I wasn't a really great candidate for noticing anything, because the WAVwatch had already taken care of things. I'm like, I can't think of anything I needed to solve.
Now, I did share my bed with my sister-in-law in Las Vegas. She's 70, and she recently broke her ankle in 2 places playing golf. So she's been sitting there. So she has the WAVwatch for bone regeneration, and she has the med bed, And so we don't have any feedback yet as to if she's healing, quicker or not.
Right.
And then there's another one called the Healy. And I think you have one of these,
I'm
right? So you can speak to this one a little bit. So, the Healy has several components, and I got quite a few different prices on that, so it depends on what special you're getting, what the cost is.
Right.
And they do have some monthly fees I was seeing.
And that was then, and this is now. They don't.
They don't have the monthly fees. Yeah. Okay. So see, I need to be updated on that one. Yeah, there you go. So I don't think monthly fees work very well anymore for
people don't tolerate that well. No.
Yeah.
And I will say for this one, it's got a pretty steep learning curve. it's amazing and it can scan and wonderful, wonderful. And there's a lot of learning that has to
Okay.
be done. So that's another vote.
Now,
for-
is it hooked up to the internet?
It is, and your phone can be far away from you. The device itself is receiving a signal by Bluetooth. So
Okay,
it's not the whole
Damn it.
5G. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Seeing that.
okay. And then this is a new one, another
Yes.
type of a med bed. And I saw this one in Florida. And basically, they say they are running every frequency in the world through you. You just lay down on it, turn it on. And it really makes this humming, buzzing sound. You can turn it down a little bit, but it does vibrate.
Oh, wow.
And so if you have $40,000, you will like this product.
Gee, maybe I'll have to wait till next week.
And they may have changed it, but they may have, but it is a good product. It's different. And to me, that is, something in the future. So we're talking about high-tech things here. So I do like all of these. Okay, so there's a number right there. And they were going to start selling the WAVwatch, and they were very interested in the WAVwatch because they kept saying, oh, you have targeted frequencies.
Wow.
And actually I hadn't used that word very much with the WAVwatch until this, particular Pure Wave was saying you have targeted frequencies. And theirs is not. Theirs is every frequency, but there might be some faster healing. I don't know. They have great statistics.
Awesome.
But just trying to let people know everything's in a price range. Everything, and the ease of use. You do have to set that one also, but I don't think it's as hard to use.
Okay.
And then we may be running out of time here, but I wanted to show you a couple of ideas here. I hope I can get this one to work. I probably didn't click the buttons right. I'm already talking to
Here we
myself.
are.
Today, my friend
Did I-
Lynn helped me with.
No, we're not. I haven't.
Working on. When I came in, I had a very
in
stressful
here.
headache.
We
It
can-
hurt so bad.
You can look up here. Can you give a thumbs up if you're hearing that?
Can anybody hear that? Can anybody hear that? Thumbs down. Yeah, we didn't think so. Okay. And I have tried this video a couple other times. I forgot it was in here. So anyway, she is just telling me that she has a terrific tension headache. And she's telling me that she thinks it's PTSD from her great grandchildren. It's the cutest thing ever.
Oh my goodness.
So she worries and worries and worries about her great grandchildren. So it is an amazing little testimony from when I was developing the prototype.
And so it calmed things down for her. and
Yes.
she-
Yeah. So this
rid of
is
her
the
headache.
fun part about it. So I was able to take 3 images of her with my thermography equipment. And this is what she looked like on the first one, on the left side of my screen anyway, where she has the most red. That's indicating inflammation. And she wore the WAVwatch for 30 minutes. And then I took the second picture, and we can see the inflammation has
Huge
decreased.
difference, especially noticed down on the shoulders.
And then
Wow.
the third image is here. Now it even gets better because I took sideways pictures of her. So she just wore the watch for an hour. And part of that video testimony was that all of her tension went away and her head didn't hurt. And you can see why. We have some proof here.
Wow.
So this is the thermography that is available through my office, or on the internet. You might look at brosthermography.com and see other places around the US that have thermography. And while we're talking about things, I haven't given you time to talk about your book.
Oh,
You should tell them about your book and where they can see that too. So Vienna is an author.
well, it's at stopthepainbook.com. If you go to Stop the Pain, that one was already taken. I had to add the word book. So stopthepainbook.com. The book is called Stop the Pain, Your Hands-On Manual for Neck and Back Relief. So it is quite fun to pair that with WAVwatch so that you're addressing the pain. And then you can also, the little nutshell version is when tension comes in, blood gets squeezed out. And if you can get blood to come back in, the tension has to go away. So that's what we're seeing here in the picture. And if you have some manual therapies of being able to release tension by putting the muscle slack so that blood comes back in, then you get even just a little bit further along with that. So
Perfect. And these pictures kind of reminded me, if we were able to take thermograms of Vienna's work, we'd see some of this too,
I think
because
so.
that's what she changes is the pain. And then when the pain releases, that inflammation goes away also. So here's another idea from thermography. And I've had this in a couple of slides, but again, I thought I'd have some new people today that might enjoy seeing some of these. And we're seeing on the left side, something is going on. The liver, gallbladder is inflamed here. And they wore the WAVwatch for 30 minutes while they were in my office. And those are the changes.
That is remarkable.
You know, so we can see some positive changes, and that's what we need to see sometimes to be able to be appreciative of something.
Mhm.
Now, this one is just the opposite. I think for some reason, the first picture is on the right side of my screen. So this lady was taking bioidentical hormones, and it was causing a great amount of breast tenderness, especially in her left side. And she just used the WAVwatch for 30 minutes for hormones. Okay, that's what we
Interesting.
selected. And then she noticed no breast tenderness, especially in her left breast.
Wow.
And then we took another image 30 minutes later, and it's not perfect, but we only had 30 minutes, but her
Right.
pain was gone. That had been there for, what you say, it had been aching for over a month. So in 30
That's
minutes, that was gone.
phenomenal.
So those are some things.
And one of the other things I love about your work with thermography and WAVwatch and what I get to do as a massage therapist and body worker is the hope that it brings to people.
Like that.
When hope is restored, then you begin to believe again. You can have your faith is up, and it raises your vibration.
There.
Right? Just saying.
So, isn't she great? She had these phrases.
And then the higher our just overall vibe is. Like I'm sure you've walked in a room and you can cut the low vibe with a knife. It's just like, oh, how was your day? Should I even ask? It's like, no, it's terrible or whatever. And as opposed to you go into a room or you think of a friend that you want to visit, and it's like, I always have fun with Josephine, so just that we're aware of that vibration aspect, even if we haven't used those words for it. And when we have hope, our vibration begins to rise, and then we tend to have more of those positive experiences. Somehow, when we're feeling low, we get more and more to feel low about. But if you can take little incremental steps, run the emotion frequencies on WAVwatch, which hand am I on? And that begin to raise up, and then more encouraging things we begin to notice, even if it's the reticular activation system of the brain, then we're noticing good things instead of bad things. So go for hope.
And isn't love the highest vibration and fear the lowest, or some of those?
Actually,
Which one is
Shame. is
shame?
the
That's
lowest.
right. I didn't think fear was quite right, but
Yeah.
so we have both of those. We're aiming for love, but just the last couple of years, there's been more shaming
Yes.
and more fear, which are the lower vibrations. So think
That's
about
right.
that, because you have all of those frequencies on the WAVwatch in the emotion folder to work with. So here's another one. This is really what I specialize in. I do BRAS, breast research awareness and support. And so we were able to see lymph drainage change in just 30 minutes and the person's pain go away. It's not drastic, but we're only talking about 30 minutes,
Right.
So once in a while, I will have that same problem myself. And that's all I do is run through some of the frequencies in the breast category. Now, this one was another one that was used. The WAVwatch was used 2 weeks on and off, and you can see some changes there. And, she's reporting things are better and feeling not as bad. So you may have heard me say before that I've had 9 women who had breast lumps go away or almost go away in 30 minutes in my office. So, and one of them specifically, we have a video of her online, and she said, I'm going to cancel my breast surgery. So,
Yeah, she was thinking of a biopsy and
Yes.
decided, well, if it's almost gone.
Yeah. So you can't get any better than that. Then here's another example that we have, and this is carpal tunnel pain for 25 years. And this lady, it was so bad that she would, if she couldn't flip her hand over the side of the bed, sometimes at night, that it would freeze up on her shoulder or on her chest. And then it'd take her an hour to get her fingers moving and her hand even off her chest and move in the morning.
Wow.
And so she wore the WAVwatch for 30 minutes in the morning. or excuse me, 30 minutes at the office. And all we knew was that her hands got ice cold.
Mhm.
And she went home that night and then she reported to me that everything changed.
Wow.
And she just had one little finger. The next morning, my pain was gone, except for a slight tingle in my fingers instead of the usual hour of numbness and tingling and shaking.
Wow, wow, wow.
And that one session lasted for about 3 weeks.
Mm.
So people ask me all the time, how often do you
Perfect.
have to use it? I don't know. It's different for everybody. So if it comes back, wouldn't you just play the frequency again on the
Turn it on
WAVwatch?
again.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. And I've had a couple of people who have had problems with their knees, and they did report that the knees got ice cold also. So I don't know
Interesting.
exactly what is going on there with that phenomenon, but then their pain does go away or changes.
Beautiful.
And then if I can get this one to work, now this one doesn't need a, video. This one is showing you somebody's trembling,
Yes.
shaking. And why is it sideways? I don't know.
Because it is.
So this is this person, 25 years of this, and he's saying he couldn't, hold a cup of coffee. So he wore it for an hour and my hands were 90% improved.
And as I recall, you said I was around that day and it was like, and first time in 25 years, he takes a drink by himself. Now you talk about hope restored.
Yeah. And
Look
so
at
here's
that.
his second picture after the hour.
Wow. Wow.
He was quite the character because he said, I'm going to save a lot of money on coffee. And another example, he said it lasted for about a week and then he went out and used his weed eater and
Jarred it again.
And so then he played the frequencies. So, I can't tell you when you need to play it. That's your, work. So that you
Exactly.
need to be doing. And we're switching topics, but an
Yeah,
important
back
one.
to Hulda Clark and her parasites.
There you go. So this was somebody that sent me a picture after using the WAVwatch for 30 minutes in my office. And she passed what she says is maybe a foot-long parasite,
Mm,
And so we're seeing lots of things after 30 minutes, which is phenomenal.
it is.
But again, it goes back to the idea of prescriptions or even some of the natural things
Mhm.
go through our bodies so much slower.
Yes.
So for 15 years, I have used different herbs and things for parasites, but it's a 6 to 8 month process.
Yeah, expensive, troublesome. You got to change what you're eating drastically. And remember to take the things umpteen times a day and stagger it nicely so you're addressing the egg stage and the larva stage. And yes, it's a mess. Been there, done that.
Or what do we do? So might as well give that a try and just start playing the parasite frequencies at if you can, every 2 weeks or, whatever your schedule might be, because we are continually exposed.
Yeah. And let's just say, I remember hearing you talk about parasites with people when they would come up on the bimeridian scan. And people, you talk about something to go into denial about. People would just go, no, I don't have parasites. No. Or if they did believe it, they'd get completely grossed out. Not inside of me. No. So just even if you think you don't have, the last stat I heard was in the US, at least 70% of people have parasites. Personally, I believe it's more than that.
Mhm.
But in case you think you don't, go ahead and play it anyway.
Yes, you do. And you have parasites from around the world because
That's crazy.
people in different, we're world travelers. So we bring back parasites from around the world. We are inundated with parasites.
Yeah.
So don't just think that you don't have something. Your cat can lick you and seriously, you're going to get a parasite.
Right.
So, please do not be in denial, or maybe help somebody else not be in denial. Or if you need to help your grandchild who seems to be fidgeting, they
Right.
have connected
Mhm.
different types of ADD and
Wow.
ADHD with parasites, because the poor child is sitting here at his desk and he can't sit still because he's got something up his, what.
Right. And I've had kids waking up at 2 a.m. back in the day, and they're picking things up, playing with other little kids when they're toddlers or whatever. And the eggs can hang out on toys, and then they don't necessarily wash their hands before they snack. And so there you go.
The list goes on.
And then it's a pain in the neck to try to get them to take the little wormer pill from the doctor. So it's better.
Yeah, so
Easier.
if your grandchild is visiting and you have just a few minutes to work with him, put the parasite one on. That would be the most important one for a grandchild, I would think.
I agree.
Would you?
I would.
Okay. I thought about that before to say it that way,
Yeah.
but I think that's really, really important. And then one last idea, and then we're going to kind of finish up. And I just wanted to say the last thing that has been really fun on the WAVwatch has been kidney stones.
Oh, yes. Yes, I have a story.
All right.
So I was visiting a friend down in Texas, had taken a couple of WAVwatches with me because I've tried to have some on hand to have people try them out. We were at a gym and they were having anybody who was a member of the gym could bring a representation of their local business or whatever. So my friend said, I'll share my table with you. And there weren't very many people milling around that time of day. So I went over to one of the other presenters who appeared to be rather bored, and she was with the dental office. And I said, hey, do you have anything that you'd be curious about, seeing if maybe frequencies could help you? And she goes, right now, I'm barely standing here because I'm in pain with a kidney stone. I said, well, I might have something that might help. I have something that might help. So she agreed to have it strapped on her, and she was only able to wear it for about 30 minutes because then things picked up, and she said, here's your thing back. I don't want to walk out without it, or with it rather. And so I asked her when she got ready to go, she said, well, it's not hurting anymore. I'm not sure I'm ready to believe that the kidney stone's gone, but I'm really grateful it's not hurting anymore. So I don't know the end of the story on that one, but that was cool.
But in my office, we can kind of check that a little bit more. So people have done urine samples, and I have 15 people in my office that have worn it for about 30, 35 minutes and done a urine sample, and it's different for each person.
Yes.
But sometimes it was black and white, salt and pepper flakes. One time a lady had 5 rice-sized granules. They were flat. In 30 minutes come out in the urine. And another lady, her urine looked like mother vinegar. It was the worst. It was thick and, very, very cloudy. So lots of different ideas, but the pain is usually gone in that 30-minute type thing.
And we know that if you go into the hospital with kidney stones, they are likely nowadays to use sound frequency to break it up. And another case of, it seems like they just about have to have their eyes closed to miss that there's a specific frequency or a little bandwidth of frequency that breaks up kidney stones. And their own words is, we're going to blast this thing with a wide, broad spectrum of frequencies so that we're sure we get it. And it's like, okay.
Or you can just wear the WAVwatch, which is finally tuned,
Yeah.
And, Vienna explained it just right, because that's even the Scientific American says that's what they do. They just blast you with lots of sound energy. They don't know which one to use. So that kind of wraps it up. There's a lot of other things. I've got some testimonies, but we've kind of, talked about that. But I just want to thank you for coming today. And I know that some of you have already seen bits and pieces of this in other areas, but hopefully pass the word around. And now this will be on the internet so that people can see it, and you could send them to it if they just need an overall view. I didn't have this particular idea on the internet yet. So my friend Vienna was the best one to jump in and say what where we could go and what we could do. Is there anything else that you want to say about where they could go? Do you have anything else on your book? It's on Amazon.
It is on Amazon if you prefer hard copy paper. And then the stopthepainbook.com is a free download, about 80 pages, and it leads to there's stopthepainbook.com/videos is some videos I made with my daughter Jubilee, and tells how to do it. And one of Linda's clients, that is also one of my clients, called me the other day, and I was getting ready to go out of town, and she said, I have this burning pain across my shoulders. I didn't remember to tell her to use her WAVwatch too, but I taught her, I just said, here's the video link, go to Shrug Chicken Wing Lean and lean against the wall, and it just calmed it all down. And she hasn't even called me back to schedule a massage. So we're working ourselves right out of a job here.
All right.
And the good news is, WAVwatches are back in stock today.
Oh, yes. Thank you. WAVwatches are back in stock. So if you know anybody, if they've missed it, we can get it shipped out today or tomorrow. We're doing some shipping.
Yes.
So, All right. So anybody have any comments, like to add something, asking questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and we'll finish up this conversation. And thank you for coming today. Appreciate it.
Linda, this is Vicky. I do have a couple of questions. Where is Vienna's business of massage therapy?
Okay,
If she wants
Kansas
to
City.
say that.
Thank you, Kansas
Right.
City.
But kind of like,
And
does it have a
Yeah.
name?
it does. It's WAV balance. And I could drop my phone number in the chat there.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
The other
All right.
question has to do with, on the watch, there's the bone regeneration. Do you see that as being beneficial for osteopenia or?
You know, I just got a testimony on that and I didn't have time to put the image in. But the person who had the liver problem that, you know, you saw those images that changed quite drastically. When we do a back view of her for 4 or 5 years, that back has just been as red as can be up and down the spine. And then within the last 3 to 6 months, maybe I'm a little bit vague on the time, she's been doing the bone regeneration and osteoporosis. And this time when we took a thermogram of her, that was all gone or unbelievably drastically changed.
Well, that
And
gives me a great idea for, I have tension along my spine, and for all the world, I have trouble giving myself a massage.
Oh yeah, imagine that.
So that's great.
So my assistant did that thermography, so that's why I didn't have easy access to it, but I can get it, and I do want to be able to show people that. So yes, I do now have one testimony, and she said she would be going back in for her
Bone density
bone
scan.
density scan to see if we definitely had a change in that. So
Beautiful.
Thank you,
Hey,
Linda.
Linda.
yes.
So as you know, I texted you about my neighbor and I took my personal watch to her. She's been having chemo. She did have the first shot, the first 2 shots of the vax. Her husband told me that this morning. And so she's been having these shots on a daily basis now, and she's getting really sick. So the results of wearing the watch on the inflammation and pain setting, and yesterday she ran the detox settings as well, and she's feeling much, much better. So I've told her to, until her watch comes in, they ordered it. She's got mine. And I told her every single day, when you get back from your shots, run the detox and run the support frequencies for liver and for kidney. And she's really feeling quite comfortable. And I know one just negates the other, but it's, I think all we can do, sometimes I think we can't really change a person's perspective of what processes they trust, but we probably can help them negate the damage, the potential damage and discomfort. But I gotta thank you. You have made my whole neighborhood. You've raised, let's just say you've raised the frequency around here. It's a wonderful, praise the Lord situation. People say to me, what do they say? Oh, you're so, what are they calling me? Kind? It's not me anyway, because I'm very pragmatic, but, oh, sweet. Oh, you're so sweet. Well, it's the WAVwatch.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Well,
good,
and
good
what
stuff.
I feel, and Vienna has been a friend, but you just get closer when we share situations and frequencies and ideas and stuff.
Yes.
And now I have friends all over the US. I may
Absolutely.
not know the exact town you live in, but I know you live in Florida, that kind of stuff. And it's been
Right.
amazing. So we're working
Totally.
together as a group.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
And there are two people in my small little street, because it's just a little tiny road, well, obviously connected to others, 2 people now with cancer. And the second one, I'm just gonna go tackle her next, because I don't know if she's gonna make it, because she had, I think, this metastasized everywhere. So WAVwatch won't hurt her. Can't but help.
Yeah. Yes, and there is a specific one for pain of cancer. Now, the
Yeah.
WAVwatch is for self-care. I mean, I could make a whole new
Right.
watch if we wanted to do cancer, but you know,
Right.
what
Yeah.
kind of stuff we'd get into with that.
That's right. That's right.
So-
But to just give her some relief, understanding this
Yes.
is self-care. If she ends up with more than relief, praise the Lord.
Yes, there you go.
Thank you.
I do not have a frequency for gout, but it is a form of arthritis. That was one of the questions. And it is a form of arthritis, and people have had relief on that by playing the arthritis. So, and I'm hoping, I'm gathering up some new frequencies, maybe to do a bigger, you know, more than 850. I don't have it done yet, but it would have gout on it. So a specific one. I did finally find that. Okay.
Awesome.
Any other questions? We don't want to use up too much of your time.
Linda? Hi,
Yes.
this is Mary Joy. I just want to ask you, when you mentioned you might add more frequencies, will they be able to be added to the watches we have now? some
Yes,
way?
probably just a new TF card. That's what I've been told. We'll see how that comes out, you know. But yes, you just get a new TF card.
Well, fabulous. I'm getting these around the US. How's that? We're
Thank
gonna heal
you.
people.
All right.
Beautiful. We get to be bearers of light and good news.
There you go. And just go to the website anytime if you know somebody that's interested in one. So
Thanks so much.
San Diego, look at that.
Very nice.
All right. Well, gals, unless there's anything else, you know, did anybody get an email today about our workshop? I didn't think I did either, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but I apologize for that. Everybody's supposed to kind of get an email, and all the new people that purchased this week should have had an email. So we'll keep checking that out. Okay.
Linda, I missed
Yes.
the first half of this morning. I was at an appointment with my husband. Is this one going to be on Facebook Live or Rumble?
Yes. We are videoing that now. So it'll be on live. It'll take a few minutes once we get off, but
Okay. Thank
all
you.
right. Well, thank you, everyone all over, unless there's anything else. Prayers to everybody. Thanks. Blessings. That's what we need to do.
both.
That's it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.